Welcome back to Born Football TV. My name is Aaron Malolo and I'll be bringing you all things Premier League. So basically in this next phase of the Premier League, I'm like insurance. You know why? Because I got you covered. But before we go any further, congratulations to Argentina for winning the 2022 FIFA World Cup. They really put out a fight against France there in one of the best finals I've seen in my life. But back to the Premier League. Boxing Day on Monday, 26th of December, the Premier League is coming back. And I know many of us have been waiting for it. You know, it's been an exciting one. It started quite well. And I know, of course, the topic that is in everyone's mouth is Arsenal. Arsenal started this season quite very well. They impressed everyone with their young squad and their young manager. They did so well. And Monday will be treated to midweek football. Actually, this December, January and February will be treated to midweek football. And the topic, of course, for this video, I just want us to look at Arsenal, to look at Newcastle and a few other teams. So, of course, Arsenal started this season quite very well. And a lot of questions have risen that are they going to win the Premier League? You know, are they going to dethrone City? You know, a lot of questions have been rising. And one of the questions that we're going to answer in this video is, are they going to manage to retain that number one spot? Are they going to win the Premier League? And if they are going to win the Premier League, what do they need to do to ensure that they bring back the glory days after close to 20 years not winning the Premier League? Of course, Arsenal last season, for me, actually this season, that they've done so well is not surprising. If you've been following closely Arteta's build up, Arteta's career in Arsenal, you could see that he was building something. Last season, for me, they did so well. Actually, what you are seeing in this season is something that the last season gave us a sneak peek. If you remember last season, of course, they didn't start well. They lost their 3 opening games, which was the worst, and people were calling for Mikel Arteta's head. But as the season progressed, you could see that Arsenal was actually playing so well. Arsenal did so well, but the problem is that they could not persevere. They could not endure. The longevity of their wins and everything, you know, proved to fail. You know, you could see they lost a lot. They dropped a lot of points. For me, basically, they gave Tottenham Hotspur the Champions League spot on a silver platter because they kept on dropping points and dropping points and dropping points. Even when Tottenham Hotspur was losing, they would go on to also lose. But you could see also last season, I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine who's an Arsenal fan. There was a game they lost, you know, and my friend was like, you know, I know we lost in this game, you know, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy with the type of football we are playing. I'm so happy with how we are playing as a squad, the combinations, you know, the play, the build-up play and everything. I'm so happy. And for me, basically what we are seeing last season, Arsenal actually showed us what they are capable of, you know. But now the same question that rose last year is that, are they going to be able to persevere? Are they going to be able to endure? Because last season they could not. They just crumbled. You know. And of course the big question, like I've been asking, are they going to be able to endure? Will they be able to hold on? Because it's no use. We've seen many teams in the Premier League that started out well. In fact, in recent years, when Carlo Ancelotti was coaching Everton, there was a time Everton was in number 2, number 3, number 4. They were doing so well. People are saying, they're going to win the Premier League. By the time the season ended, they didn't even qualify for Europa. They didn't even qualify, let alone the conference, you know. So for me, yes, we're excited. We've seen even Mikel Arteta in his interviews also, he was very careful, you know, to in terms of projecting how Arsenal will go as the season progresses, because there's still quite a lot of work that they have to do. There's still a lot they have to do, especially with some of the things that happened in the World Cup that affected their squad, with Gabriel Jesus out for like 3 months now. He underwent a knee surgery and I was out. I know Gabriel Jesus is not your traditional number 9, but it's really been important for Arsenal in many ways than one. In one of the ways that it was important is that he's a very creative player. When I think of Gabriel Jesus, I think of Roberto Firmino in Liverpool. Roberto Firmino is not your striker that you will count on for goals, but is one creative player. Be sure that he will create chances for Salah. He will create chances for Diaz. He's a creative player. He has the speed. He has the skill. In fact, if you go down history books, Gabriel Jesus was not a striker. He was not a number 9. Pep Guardiola is the one that actually tried to turn him to a number 9. He was a midfielder. Rewind back to last season, beginning of the season. Pep Guardiola was playing Gabriel Jesus on the side as a winger. And I can tell you, he was exceptional. He was assisting. He was doing amazing crosses, successful take-ons. The guy was just amazing, you know. But of course, Mikel Arteta is using him in the middle so that he's able to throw the defenders away while he takes the ball. He opens space for the people who score, your Martinelli, your Bukayo Saka and the likes, you know. So for me, he's an important player. He's a creative player. When he's in the 18-yard area, he's a very dangerous player when he has the ball, because he has the skill and he also has the potential to win the team penalties, which is amazing, you know. And also, one of the most important thing for me is that mental and psychological, when we talk about Gabriel Jesus, this is a player who has won the Premier League. This is a player who knows what it means to win the Premier League. This is a player who has traveled the road of winning the Premier League. This is a player who has been tried and tested, who has endured, who was playing with City and they enjoyed and they won the Premier League not once or twice but many times, you know, for me. So it's a huge blow for Arsenal, and in this transfer window, for me, if Arsenal really want to win the Premier League, they will have to strengthen their squad. Sure thing, they have to find someone who will replace Jesus. The person might not be equally as capable as Gabriel was. They can even find someone better, you know, but they need to strengthen their squad. Of course, in this video, I don't want to talk about who they want, but among the names that I've been hearing, you know, even ahead of Amrabat, who was amazing in that Morocco squad, who's able to play, who is tall, he can win your aerial duels, and it will also introduce a rotation in the Arsenal midfield. I also heard of Emi Martinez, the Argentine youngster who won the young player of the tournament. And among the other players that they've always wanted, there was also Yuri Tillemans, who would be perfect, who's able to drop down and make those beautiful passes. Tillemans, James Maddison, also among those many players. So for me, Arsenal, from here to glory, from here to the 27th of May, I think they really need to go all out in this transfer window. They need to add at least 2 midfielders and 1 striker, so that they don't depend on the same player, so that if Saka is injured, they are able to replace him. And for me, Mikel Arteta, for someone who has worked with Pep for a long time, this thing of squad rotation is something that should be in his veins, because it happens a lot in City. When Kevin De Bruyne is injured, Ike Gundogan comes in and closes the gap so nicely. So Arsenal, for me, have to close that gap. They have to buy players. And actually, 2 teams for me that stood out in the beginning of this season. There were 2 most improved teams: Arsenal, which we have spoken about, and Newcastle. Well, to give you a bit of a background, when Eddie Howe came to Newcastle United, they were 19th. They were 19th in the table. These were people who were fighting for relegation, but now they're number 3 in the Premier League. Before we went to the World Cup, these are people who beat Chelsea, regardless of the odds falling to Chelsea. These are people who beat Chelsea, and Chelsea is a big club. Never mind their bad performances in this season. Newcastle, for me, and Arsenal are the most improved teams in the Premier League. And for a team to move from 19th position to 11th, it tells you that there is something about Eddie Howe. And for him to start this season so well, to fight against all these big clubs, it's been amazing. And we have seen some players who have rose into prominence in that squad, the likes of your Bruno Guimaraes, Wilson, we have seen Kieran Trippier, and we have seen Miguel Olmaron, who have been exceptional for that team. So Newcastle for me have really done so well. And actually the surprising thing as well is that all this good performance that they've been putting out was without Saint Maximin. Now, if you are a Premier League fan, when I mention the name Saint Maximin, me as a Man United fan, I know Saint Maximin. The guy is a problem, very skillful. He has speed, good finishing. He has been injured throughout the start of this season. Now you can imagine now that they're gonna be coming back, and they will be back. He will be reintroduced into the squad. It's gonna be an amazing one. So I cannot wait for the 3rd of January, because Arsenal will be playing Newcastle. It's young manager versus young manager. Of course, Eddie Howe has been tried and tested. He has coached for a long time in the Premier League, but it's gonna be an interesting showdown. So I'm really looking forward to these two teams. I want to see how they will unfold. I want to see if they're going to be able to maintain. Newcastle is number 3, but they're not the first small team to start the season like that. We have seen many of them, and as the season goes by, they just lost it and lost it and lost it. So it's going to be an interesting one. But one of the big shockers for me is West Ham. West Ham last season, they performed so well. In fact, in the January transfer window, a lot of people were imploring Jesse Lingard to go back to West Ham, saying, no, go back to West Ham. West Ham were amazing, but this season they've just been struggling. In fact, they're at the relegation zone now. So I don't know, but David Moyes has to do something. I don't know if he has to buy players, but there's something he needs to change in that squad, because we have seen in the Premier League, when you don't strengthen your squad, it has proven over and over again that you will crumble. We saw teams like Sheffield United, we are seeing Wolves now, we've seen Watford, many teams. I can count a lot of teams that performed good in one season, and then when they went to the other season, they didn't strengthen their squad for somewhat reason, and they suffered the consequences. So you can engage me on the comment section. If you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications button, so that whenever I post a video, you get a notification, and also click that like button so that you can help me with the YouTube algorithms. You can engage me on the comment section. Talk to me. What do you think? Thank you.